Divya, congratulations. And wow, that was a beautiful attacking game. Before we talk about the game itself, how do you feel scoring your first win in such style?
I feel relief because I was quite annoyed about my first game. I think I played well, and then I just ended up drawing the game because I couldn't find it. So yeah, I think I was mostly just say relieved, but I don't think I can think too much of it because there's such a huge tournament left.
For sure, 10 rounds to go. Let's talk about the game. You played this Bishop Rook sacrifice. What did it feel like to be playing that over the board?
Uh, Mostly very nervous because I was not sure if it's working or not. But when I was like, okay, fine. What's the harm in going there? I think I was just like, okay, let's go there. And I thought the worst case would be, uh, I would be a pawn up. So yeah. Anyway, it felt okay.
Where do you think he went wrong? Because it looked like you were just, pressing the whole time.
Uh, I don't know honestly. I think after C4, it was gradually very it got passive for him, but mm, maybe Queen F7 would. I think maybe Rook D7 was shaky because then I was planning to go E4, and then my bishop does not open up, so I did not have many plans over there. But I think the main one would be Rook E8 because he allowed the sacrifice.
What went through your mind when you played the sacrifice?
Nothing actually. I was just nervous. I was like just playing it. Nothing was in my mind.
Let's talk about it's your first time here in Vaikanze. How are you enjoying it?
I haven't roamed around much. I've just been in bed because of the weather, and I'm not used to it. So I think it's quite a pretty place. Like I went around a bit, not much, but as far as I can see, there are cute little houses, and the streets and everything is so very pretty. And of course, the organization is so good.
The 17-year-old IM from India, Divya Deshmukh, plays a brilliant attacking game, true to her style, and sacrificed a full rook to finish off the attack against a 2615 GM. So, this is a beautiful game to watch if you like attacking games. Let's jump in. It was a Nimso which it was a Nimso Indian after e6, knight c3, bishop b4. And here Divya chose e3, castles, bishop d3, d5, and a3. Takes, takes, and takes, takes. c5 was played by Jaime, knight e2, queen c7, and bishop comes back. Knight c6, castles, and e5. So Jaime Sandos strikes in the center first. I mean, I hope it is Sandos. Yeah, it is Jaime Sandos Latasa, a 2615 GM from Spain. So e5, Divya goes for knight g3. So from here, the attack actually starts. And do you see after rook d8 how to launch the attack? Most often, the way to start an attack is to attack and remove the defender, the main defender in the position. If you see, Black's knight is the only piece on the king side, all the other pieces are on the queen side. So Sandos is unaware of the dangers in his position. Divya starts with knight h5. After takes, it induces a weakness on the h6, on the light squares along here. Induces h6. And now we can chip in on it. Rook b1 first, activating the rook. b6, and now comes f4. Takes, the rook jumps in. Bishop e6, and now bishop e4, pinning the knight. Queen d7, and now bishop b2. Divya takes time to develop her bishop so the rook can get into the game. This bishop might look very bad right now, but it is breathing fire if this set of pawns vanish, which it can. Just c4 and the pawn can go forward. But Sandoz stops the pushes for now with bishop c4. But the bishop is doing just that job now, just stopping the white bishop from becoming active. Meanwhile, Divya brings a queen back, and now rook c8, and here comes bishop f5. Bishop e6, takes, and rook f1. Full pressure on f7. Black needs to defend it one more time. Okay, he goes f6 to remove that threat permanently. But now all the squares are weak. The target shifts to the g7 square and the h6 square. Queen g3. threatening rook takes pawn. So king has to move. King h7. So situation is still okay for now. Rook g4. This is where Sandoz makes a slight mistake. He plays queen f7, and that gives Divya an advantage. And it's very instructive how white can take advantage here. She goes c4, and suddenly the bishop is becoming active. f6 is becoming a bit soft. Now, what was the correct move for Sandoz? He had to play rook to d7. Then there is no c4, the queen can take. But because the queen went to f7, defending g7, c4 can't be taken by the queen. That's the main point of difference. That's the difference. So now the bishop is becoming active no matter what Sandoz does. Sandoz takes, Divya takes back, and now there's a passed d pawn running up the board. Knight goes back, and now d5. Such a beautiful position. It's surprising the engine just gives 0.39 for white with this passed pawn, with the battery here, and this beautiful bishop and another beautiful rook. Black's pieces are just stuck there. Knight d7, the knight jumps back. So queen check, king moves, and now comes rook g6. Divya is putting pressure here. Sacrifices are around the corner. Rook takes h6 is in the air. If pawn takes, queen h3, and this f6 square becomes weak, queen f5. You can even prepare it now with queen f5. So here, rook e8. There is a very difficult move for black to play here. That is queen f8, allowing rook takes pawn, pawn takes, and queen g6. But then black holds on with queen g7. It would be another interesting sacrifice here. But the opponent, Sandoz, plays rook e8. Now position becomes very good for Divya. This is where Divya pounces. Sacrifice. Bishop takes f6. Sacrificing a full piece. The knight is defending that. That's the duty of the knight. The only job of the knight is to stop the sacrifice. That's the move Sandoz thinks he has stopped. But Divya just unleashes the bishop there. After takes, here comes the point. Rook takes f6. So now it is a full rook sacrifice. And it's a very sound sacrifice because now rook takes h6. There's only two pieces in the attack, but the king has only one defender. So the king is becoming overpowered. King g8, queen check. Queen can't block because rook g6 wins the queen, and the pass pawns are too strong. And now queen h4, threatening rook check and rook h7. Here, opponent had to give back the rook. This was the last chance for Sandoz to give back the rook and play an equal position. So takes, and queen e7 and go for counterplay. But here Sandoz played b5, keeping the extra rook. But now Divya just goes d6, stopping the escape square, threatening checkmate. King g7, queen h6. So Sandoz plays queen g7, asking Divya to take the queen with rook h7. But Divya goes for rook check, king move, and queen check. And now after king moves, rook takes. Rook takes. She does not go for the piece back. Mate. I mean, not mate. King can go to d7. After king to d7 comes queen b7, winning the queen. So that was the point. She doesn't go for the piece back. She goes for the queen. And here Sandoz resigned. So out of nowhere, a position like this. Okay, here you can see the rook is active, pieces are active. But a few moves before, here, there's just some threats over here. From here, the position became completely winning in a few moves. I mean, this is still equal. After the sacrifices, it became completely winning. And after all the sacrifice, there was just two pieces, but that was enough for the attack. So the young IM from India is rising up the ranks, defeating 2,600 plus opponents like it's nothing.